my fellow St. Lucians. After 191 years since the abolition of slavery, we have made much progress as African descendants in overcoming the inhumane treatment and psychological trauma imposed on our ancestors. This trauma has been carried across generations, and while its impact has been declining, its remnants continue to impede the progress of some of our people. The legacy of slavery is still able to divide us despite the common indignity suffered by our ancestors. And yes, there remains sadly a few amongst us who have yet to understand and appreciate the need to uplift our people from self-doubt and the harmful effects of the values of our colonial masters. As we honor the sacred memory of our ancestors and the unbreakable spirit of those who rose from bondage to claim their freedom, we are not only looking back, we are reaching forward. The bonds of global cooperation, once a beacon of hope, are strained by division, distrust, and conflict. Yet, it is precisely now that we must recommit ourselves to unity, dialogue, and shared purpose. The vilification and denigration of the President of Nigeria, Bola Tinubu, by a politically motivated group, tacitly supported by the opposition party, was another demonstration of the harmful effects of the legacy of slavery, self-hate, and a readiness to accept African people and their descendants as inferior. That behavior was nothing short of shameful and disgraceful. Had the visit been by a head of state from another country, the reception from that group would have been at the least respectful. To the government and people of the Republic of Nigeria, the government and people of St. Lucia have been honored by the visit of your president and look forward to establishing and deepening economic, social, and cultural ties with your country. I am pleased that during the visit of the president and his delegation, several memoranda of understanding were established for fostering economic, social, and educational relations with St. Lucia and the OECS. My administration will do its best to ensure that these MOUs bear fruit at the earliest possible opportunity. My administration, mindful of its role in transforming the society to a place where its citizens are proud of their heritage and history, continues to address the inhibiting social and economic pressures on vulnerable groups. This is why we remain committed to assisting those most in need, to reduce the gap between the haves and the have-nots, so that we can move forward together as a nation with a shared history and a destiny. We must not allow any group who still do not value and respect their history and heritage to distract us from the immense strides that has been made in reassuring our people that they are as good as any. Our small nation continues to remind the world of the value of our people to the development of humanity. The athletic prowess of Julian Alfred is more than a celebration of Olympic gold and silver medals. It's a show of self-confidence, pride, and freedom. A freedom to think big and to inspire those who dare to succeed in the face of major challenges. This is in part why my administration remains committed to the development of the people so they can reach their true human potential. In the area of education, my administration, through the Ministry of Education, has taken steps to integrate African studies into the curriculum of secondary schools. The absence of the contributions of African civilization and the thinking of African philosophers in our school system are gaps that need to be filled. In filling these gaps, our students are expected to have greater historical knowledge and cultural awareness, develop a sense of self-worth and identity, build the academic curiosity, creativity for exploration of African literature, music, politics, and philosophy. If we are to achieve this, St. Lucia will proudly be a leader in culturally relevant and progressive education in the Caribbean. The Ministry of Education has already engaged a consultant to develop a framework for the development of a curriculum for African studies. This framework will include, among other things, teacher training and a phased implementation plan to introduce African studies in all secondary schools. For centuries, the Atlantic or Middle Passage was a site of unimaginable suffering and forced separation. Now, it must become a bridge of return, of reconnection and renaissance. The recent strides in multilateral cooperation, from the African CARICOM Summit, the Afri-Caribbean Trade and Investment Forum active, building partnerships in trade, technology, and cultural exchange, are not just diplomatic gestures. They are long overdue reunion of a family separated by history but united by blood and purpose. I was honored to attend the recent active conference held in Grenada from July 28th to 29th, 2025. With over 1,000 participants from Africa and the Caribbean, discussions centered around creating a free trade zone, the establishment of direct air and sea links, and the possibility of regional integration between the two regions. The African continent, with its huge population, which is expected to grow to 1.5 billion by 2050, offers exciting market opportunities for our nation, and we must therefore position ourselves to make the most of it. From the rhythms of our drums to the resilience of our people, Africa lives in us, not just as heritage, but as destiny. The time has come to transform cultural kingship into concrete cooperation in trade and investment in education and technology, in tourism and the arts. Let us strengthen our ties, not as distant relatives, but as equal partners in a shared journey of renewal. The transatlantic slave trade, the brutal and inhuman treatment of our African ancestors, must be addressed and understood if we are to fully appreciate its current impact on the social and economic inequalities in our society today. The legacy of slavery has left its scars of self-hate and inferiority. Too many of our youth are looking for a sense of identity and affirmation and are turning to gangs and violence. I say to young people, the violence and brutality of slavery has been abolished. The abolition of slavery has provided a new freedom, which calls upon you to respect human life and to be productive citizens. Let us not return to the killings and brutality as a means of settling conflict. We must appreciate and respect human life and teach our children to do likewise. As a peace-loving people, human life must be valued and respected. The dignity and human rights of all must be respected regardless of color, creed, or gender. Together, St. Lucia and Africa can be a powerful voice for climate justice, reparative action, and a future where our people thrive. Our emancipation was not the end, but the beginning, a foundation on which we rise together to forge bonds of solidarity and shared destiny for generations. Allow me to salute the pioneers in our country, the poets, the writers, the drummers, and other creatives, the members of the Rastafarian Society, who over the years have reminded us of our African culture, heritage, and history. I thank you all. My government has, since August 2021, agreed to ensure that the significance of that day is celebrated and commemorated with a month-long celebration as a reminder of our resilience as a people seeking to improve our quality of life. Happy Emancipation Day to all. I thank you.